Okay, so the control panel is one of the most important things to know about, and that's in this cabinet. Uh, all of the all of the items that you would ever have questions about are usually between here and the service panel, which we'll go over when we do the outside. If the inverter is ever tripped, you'll know right here. You got a green light on invert. So if that's off, you know something happened, like maybe the battery was drained and you needed to fire it back up. So we're just going to say that happened, and we're going to start the generator. We're going to do that just by just choke it once or twice, hit start, and there it goes. So I'm going to turn this fan off so that you can hear that it's not a very loud generator at all. It's very quiet on board and on the external. It's not something that will annoy your neighbors like a lot of them do. So this generator, this is one of the things that we'll be going over in the checkout procedure, is to show you the counter on there. In the life of this, in the 10 years, it's had 139 total hours on it, 138 and a half total hours on it. So it isn't used that much. It's in really minimal use, and you saw this green light popped back on. All I have to do is hit that one more time. The inverted power is on, and because we have it set in air conditioned mode, this just kicked back on automatically. This is the cool function of the thermostat. So you see the green light is on cool. There are two ways to heat this thing. One is using the furnace, which is propane. The other is to use heat pump, which is the other function of this air unit on the roof. And this is the highest point in the van. We'll cover that in a minute. So if you're in cool, you know you've got air conditioning on. I want to make note before we go past this. If you look at the microwave, you'll see that this green light popped on here. So you know that we're on either shore power or generated power. We're getting full electricity to all the outlets. All of the devices that require more than the inverter, they've all come on. So going back to the fridge, it's probably going to show us, yep, it gives you an electrical outlet because it recognized that now we've got this full power. It's going to preserve your propane, preserve your battery, and it's going to use that generated power. And our generator is working on propane, so it's very inexpensive, fuel efficient. So let's go back to the control panel, and we're going to turn that off for now. Which should make it a little bit easier to hear the rest of this. So the LPG, liquid propane gas, we're going to push that. It's at 39%. When we fill this, it tops out at about 88 to 91 in that range. It leaves a little extra room for expansion. So it's when the attendant says it's full on the outside, it's not going to read 100%. So just know that anything, in the high 80s is a full tank. We've been out 3 times with this, and we're still at almost 40%. And that's using the air conditioning quite a bit. So the black is for the black tank. It's nearly empty. Sometimes if you've emptied it at a campsite and that the clean out isn't level, you may get up to 8%. So that could very well have been cleaned out. Again, we don't nickel and dime over that. We'll make sure it's empty if it needs to be emptied. Gray tank is at 0, which means it's got room for all your shower, dishwashing, sinks, all that stuff. Freshwater, we usually don't go, we usually fill it up to about 30% for travel, no more, just because with a full tank of diesel, with that fresh water, with the tanks being full, if you've been out camping, if they're full, you're going to have a lot of weight in here. And so you're just adding extra weight to fill that up. If you're going to be boondocking and you need the water, albeit fill it, just drive even more safe around the corners. This is the battery level. It's a 12-volt battery. It always tops off over 12 and doesn't show as low until it goes down like 10 and a half or 11 and a half, somewhere in that range. It'll say it's low. And then the only other switch we haven't covered, that was the water pump here. You can see the green light coming on under the Dymo label. And then the same here, water tank heater. If it's winter or if you need if you're going to take a shower or wash dishes, give that about 15 minutes to warm up the hot water tank. There's about a 2 to 5 gallon reserve, I believe it is. That's a broad span, but it's always enough for us. But water heater is off most of the time, though. Same with the pump. I only turn the pump on when we're not connected to shore water. Once we've got a external, we'll show you that again in a minute. This tank heater button, that is for winter. There are these electric blankets, if you will, over the your different tanks so that they don't freeze up. That's just a little added safety precaution. That should be off. You're not going to have to worry about that unless it's winter, when we're not usually renting it, or Indian summer if it's cold in the morning. So these controls are for the couch and bed. I'll show you that in a minute. But when you camp or when you park and you're getting, you got the thing leveled and you're getting ready to camp where you're at, hit the extend button. And all it's doing is these long spiral bolts are spinning to allow the legs to come down on the left and front center of the vehicle, and that just stabilizes it. It is not a leveler, it's just a stabilizer, and that keeps it from rocking side to side. It's more for comfort than anything. Again, built into the ignition, when you go to turn the start the car, they will you'll hear that same noise as they there's one went down and two. So that's what it sounds like. Now it doesn't rock as much. Now, I mean, you can make it rock, but it's more stable, and if you got hot coffee on the table, you'll appreciate having the stabilizers down. So to retract that, if you're not starting the engine, you can do it manually by hitting that button right there. So, and that just that power on and off is for what? Well, it's in the process of going up, so it's just leave that in the on position. Don't worry about this. This is for our personal use. That is for our Wi-Fi, and it has a very, very minimal amount. If you want to bring an extra SIM card, I can show you how to install it, but it does require getting on the roof. I don't recommend it. So let's see. That's everything in the control panel.